where the mantle, what little remains of the light, the dark, awaits us. Hello everyone, GBA049 here, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Metroid Prime 2 Echoes and the Metroid Prime Marathon Series, episode number 31. Our first, well, not exactly first, second glimpse of absolute darkness is within our sights. So let's go take a full-on examination on how downright conceptually brilliant Dark Aether really is. And I have to say, it's... Okay, as much as I always tend to say this a lot, I try so hard to not sound biased about this. I really do. It's got to be the most amazing concepts in video games I have ever seen. I don't think I have ever seen anything that comes remotely close to the conceptual brilliance that is Dark Aether. And when we come to those details, it is going to be absolutely fun to just tear it apart, limb from limb, or, you know, piece by piece. From every waking aspect, every detail, every single waking facet of atmosphere, it is a work of art. Some people tend to disagree by saying that Dark Aether is, you know, kind of tedious because you're always, you know, I don't know. I guess like, you know, you're basically treated like a sitting duck every single time when you're in Dark Aether because you're so weak and you can't like go anywhere like outside of it because you take damage. Guess what? That's the entire point. That is what that is exactly what this game is trying to do to you. It is trying its absolute damnedest to make you feel so weak, vulnerable, and hopeless because what threat that you're up against is monumental. It is a monumental threat that is unlike any other in the entire series. And of course, right now we're going to be raided by space pirates over here first. But this is only like one space pirate, so it's not that bad. Take care of the other one, and more pop up. Just some slight build up here of a minor enemy encounter until everything turns to shit. We get two more space pirates, and then they too get corrupted by the Ing. Looks like that's our very first time experiencing what the hell is you know, is that? It's like, yeah, what is that? We need to shoot it down. Nothing's happening, and that's too late. They're possessed. I gotta say, the log entry to the Dark Pirate Trooper is just profoundly just, you know, on the nose. On the nose, because it is perfect within nature of the Ing and the space pirate simultaneously. Dark Pirate Trooper, darkly possessed space pirate, enhanced strength and stamina gained from addition of symbiote, dislikes bright light. Pirate troopers already trained to follow orders without question were perfect candidates for Ing possession. What a way to start that log entry. Darklings moved to take every trooper they could, expanding the army of the Horde considerably. Space pirate technology struck a chord with the Ing, who now hunt actively for gadgetry of any kind, especially weapons systems. Gotta love the purple spikes on their back. Actually, you know, everything about the Dark Pirate Trooper is really cool looking. Like a dark ooze-like purple on their armor. And it really makes them like stand out in both the light world and the dark world. And they take 4 missiles to take down instead of 2. So you really got to be careful with these guys. That was 4 missiles and they didn't die. Okay. And yes, I die by those space pirates as well when I first encountered them, in case you were wondering. Embarrassing as it is. But I can't be alone on that notion. Alright, so, next Lord of the Luminoth, the Light of Aether. The main energy controller was built in the Great Temple. 3 sub-controllers were built in the temples of Torvus, Agon, and Sanctuary. They collected the energy of Aether, then radiated it over the world to all who needed it. In time, we came to call this precious energy the Light of Aether. It brought an age of peace and prosperity to the Luminoth. For a time, at least. No one, and like, they would never even begin to expect that it would just be, you know, for a time, of what sort of cataclysm struck upon them. Object scan complete. Target is in a state of dimensional flux. Unable to completely scan bomb slot target. 50% of its component atoms are in another dimension or on the surface of Dark Aether. So there's another interesting concept. Only devices that can be interacted with, such as the bomb slots and the spinner devices, can only be interacted with in the opposite dimension. And this is only like a very small sample on how much damage Aether has really taken as you know, as opposed to not opposed to regarding Dark Aether's very existence. The very moment when Dark Aether existed, everything just started to go completely haywire and out of whack and unstable. And that's only and that's only like the first thing we saw. Well, actually, the second thing is like looming right above us. Ever since the war started, Aether has been haunted by a shadowy presence of its former self. And more to come. Objects can complete automated door system online. Door control governed by bomb slot. Control link seems to originate from Dark Aether, however. Mechanical analysis complete. Portal dynamo offline. Configure lens system to focus solar power on dynamo. This will energize the system. And here comes the honestly, you know, slow-paced puzzle of reactivating the portal to Dark Aether. Industrial solar lens, part of a system used to open a portal to Dark Aether. And this is just telluric alloy object. Objects composed of telluric alloy. Structural integrity is decayed considerably. You can just destroy that with the bomb here. And interestingly enough, when we interact with the devices that is powered by sand, there happen to be war wasp hives either on the top or on the bottom of the solar lens contraptions. They're out of view, but by the moment when you like reactivate those devices, that's when the war wasps appear. Don't know why they spawn there, but it's interesting, I suppose. Alright, anyway, let's get rid of this space pirate present ambience out of our way and activate the puzzle theme. And the puzzle begins. Create a little elevator over here. Object scan complete. Target is a part of a conveyor system. Conveyor system originally used to transport kinetic orbs. Provides access to upper section of room. And this has been permanently set offline. You're unable to restore control functions. I'm not a mechanic, so... oh well. Short-lived. So go all the way up over here, destroy this little structure that is blocking the sand. And with that, open that up, and Warroths come in out of nowhere to oppose us. And speaking of coming out of nowhere, on the other side of this room, there is a... actually, yeah, literally... oh, okay, not permanently missable. It's only like till way later on in the game. Pill bugs start appearing like out of nowhere as soon as you interact with this. As soon as you interact with that device. And they are very cute little dudes. Pillbug, cave-dwelling herbivore, vulnerable to concussion blasts. Use them to stun and damage his enemy. Pillbugs prefer to dwell in dark caverns, though they can exist in lit areas. Navigating with a series of sensitive antennae, they roam through caves in search of moss and fungus. Pillbugs can move rapidly and will ram unwary targets to clear their path as they search for food. A pillbug can be jarred loose from a surface with a concussive blast. Doing so reveals its vulnerable belly. And there's a vulnerability over there. Looks very similar to the structure of Chica larva in Dark Torvus. Actually, it kind of resembles a Chica larva in some way. That's very weird. Same animation when you like scan it on the same animation like the logbook data, which is weird. So it's a more gigantic pill bug in a way? No, unlikely. It's just a gigantic larval mosquito. That's what Chica larva is. But we're still in Agon, not in Torvus Bog. So let's just take care of business and reactivate our destination that is currently disabled. Piss off another family, quote-unquote family of war wasps here. And yes, I've tried. Pillbugs are invulnerable to all other sorts of weaponry that aren't related to the morph ball. You gotta love the little purring noises they make when they're idle, when they're just, you know, trying to ram into you. And I feel bad killing them because of said purring noises. Hindsight, I probably should have left that one alone because all you need to do is just get right through. They weren't doing any harm. They were just minding their own business, just rolling along like little roly-polies. And reveal the light of Aether, or what's left of it, and reactivate the portal. Re-energize the portal and just transport to Dark Aether. Very fun puzzle to do. Just like seeing everything reactivate. A lot of detail behind it too. And thus our secondary adventure begins. Mechanical analysis complete, solar dynamo online, dimensional portal system energized. So here is the absolute quintessential genius behind Dark Aether. Not only does it make it, not only does it like make you extremely vulnerable more than what you already are before. Let me just add more build up to it. All right, so cutscene to Dark Aether. You're just staring at it, just staring at it right here. Surprise of it just bursting into darkness. Enters inside. So conceptually, Dark Aether is, you know, I keep on reiterating this every single time, but I gotta say, first seeing this place, I was absolutely fucking floored by everything I was witnessing in this place. It's just a dark, mirrored version of Aether itself, surrounded by a light dome, energized light dome that you're not supposed to exit out of, because if you do, you're taking rapid damage. As if you weren't vulnerable enough, Dark Aether proves you even more that this place is absolutely dangerous. Dark Aether's atmosphere is dangerous. Glowing safe zones protect you from Dark Aether's atmosphere. Just a little tutorial on what this place actually is and what the fuck you're dealing with. Blade pods. Living storage units of the Ing Horde. These Ing morph their bodies around useful items to protect them. They rely on larger Ing for protection. These Ing morph their bodies around useful items to protect them. They rely on larger Ing for protection, as they have no way of fending off enemies. Damage from all weapons will harm them, but light-based weapons are superior. Even though that they take the same amount of damage from the dark beam and the light beam, it's just completely pointless. Also, listen to that low reverberating and just unwelcoming ambience that Dark Aether provides in Agon Wastes. Every single time when I listen to Dark Agon Wastes in this place, I don't hear it as Agon Wastes, I hear it as Dark Aether, because this is your very first time you know, entering this dimension. You need to be extremely cautious and extremely careful at all times when you're in Dark Aether, because just exiting out of it, you're taking so much damage. And you may be wondering, what is causing all of this damage, and why is Dark Aether's atmosphere so incredibly dangerous to to enemies and species that aren't native to Dark Aether. I'll tell you why. Dark Aether is a planet of a mixture of the light of Aether and Phazon. Dark Aether was born instantaneously as a result from a Leviathan seed that came from planet Phase in Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. Here's the thing, though. Dark Aether is so incredibly fucking unique that it is the one exception of where the host of the said Leviathan seed is, you know, completely mysterious. It is unheard of on how exactly Dark Aether formed. All that we know is that it was a mixture of the light of Aether and the light of Aether around the light of Aether around the entire planet of Aether was so incredibly unstable that when the Leviathan seed impacted planet Aether, the impact was so devastating and so catastrophic that the impact of Leviathan seed was nowhere to be found. We don't know where exactly the impact of Leviathan seed, was hit. There's no evidence of that. And yet, the Ing race was born as a result of a horrendous combination of Phazon and the light of Aether. They were born in an instant. And the Ing is the physical manifestation of Phazon given flesh. That's a reason why that they corrupt and possess everything around them to grow their numbers. The same exact way that Phazon is sentient and has a mind of its own to like control everything around it. So that's a reason why that that's the reason why that the Ing are just, you know, are filled with so much hatred and so much lifeless energy is because that they were born from the blood of Phazon itself. Phazon, the light of Aether, created the Ing race. Just let all that sink in. That is how conceptually brilliant Dark Aether is. Not only is it like a clone of Aether, which is extremely obvious, but it's also incredibly unique in that it is its own its own idea. Nowhere else is this presented in the game. The light of Aether was a blessing, and the light of Aether was certainly a blessing for the Luminoth, but in turn it was also a curse in disguise, because that instability nearly became this planet's downfall. And this is the power of Phazon. The ultimate power of Phazon, of what it's capable of doing. It corrupts so much, and in this case, it corrupted the very aspect of life itself, corrupted the very aspect of life itself, and created darkness. The opposite of light is dark, and that is what Phazon does. It corrupts everything positive and everything, energizing, prosperous, and twists it into unreal contortions. That is a result of Dark Aether. And I love going through it. Xenotech. Luminoth Light Beacon generates protective field when energized. Light beacons must be energized by beam weapon fire to function and remain charged for a limited time. Light beacons must be energized by beam weapon fire to function and remain charged for a limited time. The beacons were created when the Luminoth ran short of light crystals during the war. While simpler to make, the beacons were also unstable. They had to be energized periodically and could run out of energy at critical moments. Still, any protection was better than none for the Luminoth warriors. Over here is the light crystals that Aisha introduced us. Generates protective field of light energy. Light crystals provide protection from Dark Aether's atmosphere. They can be nullified by dark energy and supercharged by light energy. Light crystals provide protection from Dark Aether's atmosphere. Yeah. They were created by the Luminoth during their war with the Ing, and many still remain in use. Dark creatures despise the crystals. Some are injured or killed by the field they create. You know, emphasis on some, because not many creatures are harmed by the standard energized functionality of the light crystals and light beacons. It's only when they're energized by the light beam of when the safe zones become truly lethal to dark creatures. And over here is the other side of what became of the bomb slot on Aether. Their unique component atoms just split. Half on that world and half on theirs. The same idea with the planetary energy. Transdimensional activity activated. A device has been activated back on Aether. So here is the genius behind the buildup of Dark Aether. Your first priority is to find safety, because you're not a being of darkness. You are a being of light. And and throughout the entire time, you're dealing with creatures that are descendants of dark. Any sort of light that comes into contact with Dark Aether are quickly met with the power of Phazon itself, destroying you from the inside. Inglet, worker drone of the Ing Horde, wall crawling, morphing bioform, strongly dislikes bright light. Inglets perform the menial labor of the Horde, but can be pressed into a combat role if there is need. They are amorphous blobs, capable of clinging to nearly any surface. Inglets can fire bursts of dark matter in self-defense, though they prefer to avoid battle. They seldom travel alone, and can be dangerous in large numbers. As with all Ings, they dislike bright light, and will avoid it if possible. And this has got to be this has got to be single-handedly the most annoying enemy in Dark Aether. I mean, sure, there might be sure, they may be very easy to kill, but in swarms, they are a huge threat. They are everywhere. They're in Torvus Bog, they're in Agon Waste, they're in Sanctuary Fortress, they're in every area in Dark Aether. And whenever you see them, they're more than likely just protecting key areas most of the time. But in here, oh yeah, and also like replacing existing enemies with Inglets. Because they're basically the juveniles of, the Ing. Ever since that day when I was like, you know, witnessing everything around me in Dark Aether, I was terrified. Because priority number one, every single time in Dark Aether when you first enter it, is to find a safe zone. And just seeing all these energized beacons and light crystals just scattered everywhere, you know, scattered everywhere, just like just to give you a sense of direction of where exactly you were going to go. Leading up to boss fights like this, it's an absolute work of art. Because because later on, the uses of light beacons are put into full effect. And it is absolutely genius. Everything about Dark Aether is just pure fucking genius, and I just cannot get over that on how well designed everything is. Night Barb, flying airborne hunters native to Dark Aether. Targets are small but travel in large numbers for safety. Avoid contact. Night Barbs are small airborne darklings, smaller and weaker than a hunter Ing, and Night Barb will travel, well no shit, they only die in one hit. They only die with a single bullet. I don't know why you have to put that in there, but okay. Night Barb will travel with a large pack to increase its odds of survival. This is wise, since their primary predators are hunter Ing. But, wait a second. Hunter Ing eating Night Barbs? Dark creatures attacking one another? That's unheard of. A little bit weird on why they'd have that, but okay, sure. It's a good thing the save station still works. Of course it does. Okay, so the concept of Dark Aether is definitely paving underway. The very moment when we, like, enter through here. Every single time when I, like, okay. Oh, God. Yep. Here it is right here. Say hello to the elite predator and elite warrior of the Ing Horde. The Ing race. I can't talk right now, but you know what we're dealing with. Say hello to the warrior Ing, the soldiers of the Ing Horde. Slayers of many, and numbers increasing to this day. But there's not many in existence as there were back then. This is revenge for stealing all of your weapons. You're only fighting one of them, though. This is just a taste. A taste of their supreme hatred. And just disposition that they're waiting to, like, throw onto you in large numbers. They're starting to learn of how threatening you are. But in this little instance, they're just preparing you for what's to come. Warrior Ing, the soldiers of the Ing Horde. Shape-shifting wall crawler, dangerous combatant in melee and at range. Dislikes bright light. Warrior Ing are challenging foes. They can render themselves into amorphous puddles and move over most terrain, including walls. Warrior Ing can turn their bodies into deadly projectiles sheathed in dark energy. The tips of their legs are razor sharp, making them formidable in melee, and literally impossible to avoid. Believe me, I've tried. Every single time when they, like, bring up their animation of about to, like, slash you with their legs, it always hits you because their range is so freaking large. So don't attack them up close, attack them from a distance. They want you to go up close. It's their advantage. Finally, Warrior Ing are capable of channeling transdimensional energy and firing it at their enemies. Their only weakness is bright, pure light, which they hate and fear. It's the only thing that they fear. But even though that you're a descendant of light, they're not afraid of you because they had the darkness all to themselves. And the way that the way that the light crystals are put into practice in combat is another fantastic feat that Dark Aether succeeds tremendously well on. Because you have so little room to avoid, while the Warrior Ing and other bosses have everything to themselves. So what you're supposed to do is to use what is available to you and not take a single step out of Dark Aether because you are at a disadvantage. You have strictly limited space to avoid. You have strictly limited space to avoid attacks in Dark Aether, and it's all a matter of instinct, survival, and just being very careful the entire time. With all these, with all those factors combined into combat, Dark Aether by itself feels like a horror. It feels like something you see from a freaking horror game. Because of how vulnerable this place really does make you feel from the inside and out. This is a place you're not supposed to be in. This place will kill you. It is not made for light. And yet the Luminoth did everything in their power to fight to retrieve what was stolen from them. Even though that it was basically an unwinnable war. They didn't stand a chance, but they did everything they could to make it possible to let other warriors follow in their footsteps that they put on here. Everything that you're seeing around you, the light beacons, the light crystals, could not be done without the Luminoth. This war would be literally impossible, and this adventure would be literally unwinnable if it wasn't for the Luminoth just paving way for future warriors like yourself. Dark energy may damage it. I'm not gonna go take. Actually, I'm gonna take a closer look. I just like how it pulsates. Extremely dark. all the wavy effects. And a creature that becomes permanently missable over time. That still retains the functions on how to kill it, despite the fact that you can't kill them. Which is very strange to me. Lightbringers, light-generating forager. Creature generates safe zone while living. Immune to most forms of attack. Lightbringers were created by the Luminoth for use in their war with the Ing. The crystalline creatures generate a field of life-giving energy at all times, and they can be energized like a safe zone crystal. They are immune to most weapon fire. Only a burst of matter antimatter can destroy them. Now, despite the fact that the information on how to destroy Lightbringers are like in the logbook and in the game, it's literally impossible to do that normally because they disappear as soon as you get the light beam and the dark beam. But via hacking, it is possible to it is only possible to destroy and interact with Lightbringers with other types of energy via hacking. Light energy re-energizes them and makes them stronger. Dark energy nullifies the light field, and the Annihilator beam kills them. It is possible to it's only possible to interact with the Lightbringers with other beams, but normally it's not because all of them completely disappear anyway. Interesting enough how they kept that, but once again, time constraints are simply to blame for that. Though it's best to always ignore the Lightbringers because it's only there for it's only there to experiment a little bit more with the capabilities of Dark Aether in and of itself. A little worm-like statue, just like a place on the top of the. Let me just examine my map real quick. Let's see. Was a dueling range, mining plaza. Yeah, in the mining plaza. Portal site, crossroads, safe station, transport center, crossroads. Yeah, all of the names of the areas in Dark Aether are a lot more completely different. They're more brutal in description than anything else. And wouldn't you believe it, at the very moment when we enter inside the area where we encounter the space pirates, we encounter yet another Ing opponent. Right off the bat. After receiving a taste of the Warrior Ing, that's just a freaking warm-up. This is the time of when the game truly tests your combat skills by throwing at you an elite member of the Ing race, the Jump Guardian. It's a good thing the Jump Guardian is extremely easy, but conceptually it is very good because it's the same exact idea as a Warrior Ing as far as taking control of everything around the environment for itself while you are while you are nothing but trapped in a bubble. This one just takes that idea and makes it more mobile. It has more space to go on. Jump Guardian, space jump powered warrior Ing, powerful metamorph with enhanced jump abilities, able to generate energy shock waves and force fields. This warrior Ing has absorbed the power of the space jump boots. It can leap incredible distances and heights and uses this ability to great effect in battle. Target can generate powerful shockwaves of dark energy and will sheath itself in a potent force field to protect itself. It cannot maintain the shield indefinitely. Concentrate weapon fire on it when the shield is down. And it appears as though that the warrior Ing that stole our equipment also transformed in appearance. So they're basically the elite soldiers of the horde. Basically, the second in command of all warrior Ing. This is all a matter of patience, and I cannot believe that actually missed. What the hell? I got 20 missiles, and this fight honestly takes a while, to be honest. You just gotta like focus on your timing, on when to attack the on when to attack the Jump Guardian. Don't be greedy. Don't be aggressive. Otherwise, you're just gonna go have a hard time in this thing. And just wait, and then when the shield is gone, fire. I'm surprised that shockwave didn't hit me. Okay then. Also, a little strategy of just like letting those beams of light be absorbed by the light crystals is incredibly helpful and sometimes broken. This is the only shield that you have this is the only shield they have available inside a safe zone to like protect yourself against incoming attacks. The light crystal. How do they even do that? You're so freaking vulnerable all the while in Dark Aether that while you're trapped inside, while you're like, you know, just attacked at a distance in a space of where you can't go in, limited access with everything going on, all that you have protection is this crystal. This is a task unlike any other that Samus has ever dealt with before or since. And I just wanted to take a look at that little purple electric effect on the HUD. And this is the point of where you actually just deliver fear into the Ying's heart when they're fearing death. Just jumping everywhere and running around like a coward. And honestly, that took way shorter than I expected. Normally the fight against the Jump Guardian takes way longer than that, but I guess I got extremely lucky. Anyway, new pair of shoes. I'm gonna go scan that just because. Oh, get that, of course. Energy unit replenishes 100 units of energy. Let's just swallow that. Didn't even have to use a single missile either. I just stuck to my guns. And finally, we can now access higher areas. The space jump boots are now ours for the taking, and we are slowly regaining our lost abilities. And that's all that we came here for in Dark Aether. All that we needed to get was more distance in our movement. I'm pretty sure over here just takes us back to, yeah, it does. All right. Let us have a visit with the eventual boss we're about to fight as soon as we collect all 3 keys in the Agon temple, shall we? Now, if only if I'm going the right way. Yeah, I am, right here. Right this way. Got our first key of 3. Even the blue root trees have been corrupted. Not as bright, it's dark. Though they actually do look like actual trees this time instead of, you know, being transparent, you know, plant figures. Like, you can barely see them normally. Security system initiated. All locks are active. 3 keys are required to access the temple. They are scattered throughout the dark Agon wastes. Right over there is our gigantic threat of Dark Aether. I personally like to consider and analyze the very presence and concept of M. morbis as the, you know, indication on how damn threatening the Ing race really is. It's gigantic. The threat level is absolutely gigantic, and you have absolutely no idea what you're dealing with as soon as you encounter them. They are dead serious in their ambitions. Even though they don't have a heart to bear or a mind to think. They're nothing but mindless creatures that bear the same nature as Phazon itself. And the game doesn't tell you that either. We just know that Dark Aether is just like it's just the polar opposite of Aether itself. Opposite of light is dark. And everything else in between. And seriously, this freaking ambience is like is unlike anything else in this game. Dark Torvus, Dark Sanctuary, not even Dark Sanctuary, not even the Dark Temple grounds as anything in comparison to this, because just the empty, dark, ominous setting, just oozing everywhere, the low notes, the broken, distortions, just rambling everywhere, and those noises that sounds similar to some sort of, like, I don't know, dark storm overhead. I don't hear Agon Waste from this ambience. I hear Dark Aether itself. Only time where light flyers actually have a use. Just taking rapid damage the very moment when you exit out of your own safe bubble. And when that happens, you just quickly find the next safe zone so you can move on. But when you find more enemies, it gets more difficult and challenging. And from that point, you're absolutely terrified. This is a place. Okay, Dark Aether is a place of where okay, by design and intention itself, Dark Aether is a planet and an experience of where your very first instinct is to get out and just find your source of comfort. They're there. You just need to traverse through pins and needles and through the fire and flames itself, just to finally get that, just to have this breathing room. The light crystals themselves are breathing room. They are your breathing room, and when you exit out of it, you can't breathe. There's no safety anymore. You're taking damage. I said it once and I'll say it again. Dark Aether is conceptually fucking brilliant in every way, shape, and form. And I absolutely love it. I absolutely adore the concept of Dark Aether. Seeing it for the very first time, I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. Some might call it tedious and slow-paced. I think it's absolutely brilliant design. This is the kind of video game design I'd like to see more of. If they'll ever actually do something like that when it comes to another concept of light and dark. It gets it right every single fucking time. There's hardly anything in Metroid Prime 2 Echoes where it gets it wrong with the concept of light and dark, especially with the enemy weaknesses, which is up next. But before that, let us read the Cataclysm lore entry that we just basically cheese through by scanning from a distance, but it's fine. All right, let's just take care of these space pirate troopers real quick. Post haste like. Oh, nice sidestep there, moron. What do you think this is? What do you think this is? A first-person shooter? Very, very cute of you. Oh yeah, another thing that really interests me about Dark Aether itself. The light crystals and the light beacons are the only sources of light that heals you. But when you come back to Aether, it doesn't heal you. Even though you're in a light dimension, the light world, you're not being healed. Why is that? My guess is because that the light of Aether, since so much of it has been stolen, it's unstable. And with the instability, it doesn't do anything to heal your wounds. But the light crystals and light beacons do, because they were made with the light of Aether itself, and from the from the Luminat's psionic capabilities and whatnot. But maybe I'm just reaching a little bit too far from the peach tree just saying that. But that's my theory anyway. I mean, what else would it be? And let's just wait for these sandbats to just like migrate to their home and also eat each other alive because they're scavengers of themselves, which is odd. Anyway, let's go examine the lore of Cataclysm from the Luminoth. History, that's what it is. Golden Age. Or maybe it's the Dark Age. I think it's the Dark Age. Yeah, that's it. Cataclysm. The starborn terror burst through the heavens and struck Aether with an untold might. We all expected the world to shatter, but Aether held. There was great devastation, however. The green plains of Agon were scorched forever, and the forest of Torvus was engulfed and racked by the sea. The skies burned for days, casting darkness over the land. That's just a follow-up to the origins of Dark Aether. Very strange how I like landed on this little platform here. Oh well. Alright, so that is the experience of Dark Aether. I always enjoy going and I always enjoy examining that place. As brilliant as it is. I have no other words to say about it, but I just absolutely fucking love Dark Aether as a concept. It's just the one thing that really excites me. Well, not the only thing, but everything about this game, I just adore to pieces. Everything about this game is so well designed. Well, except for one oversight, but I haven't even got to that part yet. But anyway. Alright, so that concludes the end of this episode of Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, when we, like, took our very first steps into the gates of hell itself. And by hell, I mean Phazon mutation and corruption itself. And in the next episode, we're going to infiltrate the space pirate base in Agon Wastes, and take what needs to be taken there, and also fight and also like encounter Dark Samus as well. So that's gonna be fun. So, all right. So without further ado, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you later. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. This is GBA049, signing out, go on offline, and see you next mission.